Hi, I'm Kathy Fries. I'm blessed to work for both Pimmit Hills Senior Center and Herndon Senior Center. Today we're here to talk about houseplant care basics. For supplies, we have a drop cloth to help minimize mess. We have soil, and this is a care kit I take for all plant care. You never know when you might need to repot or add soil. We have water, some clear cups for propagating, a pot that would be the correct sizing if we should need to repot our plant, and some fertilizer. Scissors, sharp, and in lieu of having a sharp knife, we have the sharp scissors. But this is great to help with plants that are still stuck in the pot. Say they are root bound, you can slide it around the edge. So having a knife is not a bad thing to have on hand. All right, some benefits to houseplants. They help cheer our space. They give us a caregiver's dream. They need us. We take good care of them. If we take good care of them, they help clean our environment, they clean the air, and they provide a little bit of privacy. Like this is a pothos plant. This is what we're working with today. A pothos plant is a vining plant. You can train it. It makes a wonderful gift as well. We'll get into that later. But it can be a centerpiece. You can train it to grow up a stake. You can train it to hang from the wall. So it has a lot of options. When determining what type of houseplant you'd like, take into account the lighting the plant will require, whether it's indirect, low light, bright light, or sunlight. How frequently do you want to have to water your plant? Dampness indicators, and climate. What temperature does your plant require? Maintenance, how frequently you fertilize, the type of fertilizer. Do you want to be able to propagate your plant and share with others? How frequently you'll need to repot the plant, and do you want to have to prune your plant? All items to consider when you're choosing your house plant. So this plant is a pothos plant. It's an easy level care house plant. The characteristics are glossy green leaves. You'll see this guy is predominantly full green with some marbling. When a plant's leaf is green, that is, it's the way the plant gets energy. If you see a leaf with marbling, wherever it's not green, it's not gaining energy. So that's something to look forward to when you have your plant. If it's in a higher light condition, you may have more marbling. If it's in a lower light condition, you'll have more green. It is a vining plant, so again, you can train the pothos. Thrives in low light, indirect sunlight, and artificial light. The only lighting condition it does not appreciate is direct sunlight. It prefers temperatures between 60 and 80 degrees. When we move to propagating, that prefers about 68 degrees. So if you have it in a window that's hot in the summer, you'll see some distress and leaf distortion. So keep in mind the range for the temperature and the light. You can fertilize every 3 months. This is a prolific grower. If you're fertilizing, you'll be sharing with lots of friends because you'll have to prune more frequently and propagate. And as far as water, I typically water once a week, and I make sure that I have good drainage in the pot, and I don't water until the soil feels dry on the top. All right, moving on to propagating our pothos. There are a couple of different styles that lend different results. We'll go ahead and look at the plant. You can tell by the runners that are hanging off of it. If I hold up the leaf for you, it's best to look at here. So if you look under the runner, you'll be able to look under the leaf and notice that there is what we call a growth node or an eye. It depends on who you talk to. But the growth node is what provides the root system. So you'll see people that cut a full runner and drop it in a glass of water. Unfortunately, that's not the best way to propagate your plant, because what happens is when you cut it and you just stick it in water, it's still having to maintain and get energy to all of the extensions of this plant. So what we want to do is make it easy for the plant to grow. So we're going to go ahead and cut off these runners, and you can cut everything back to the pot, give it a whole haircut. We can do that today. So I'm going to clip one. And I'm clipping right at the base of the leaf, so I'm leaving his growth node on there. Okay. There we go. The plant that I'm cutting currently was actually a plant I propagated about 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm going to show you the exact way I did it so that it can either be another lovely houseplant for you, or a gift to your neighbor, or a gift to someone you know might need something to care for, to brighten their home. All right. So here we have a runner, and we're going to look at a few of them to make sure that we have the best growth potential. So if you notice under each leaf, there is a growth node. Okay. And we want a long runner because I want to have the instantaneous gratification of you being able to give a vining gift to your friends, not just a little green pot. So if you notice, the further you go out on your runner, there is no growth node here yet. This is a very small growth node. This one's almost non-existent, and then you get back about this far. You're looking for about 4 to 6 inches of runner if you're going to do the vining propagation. So let's go ahead and we're going to select the vining propagation that we're going to use. So I'm going to cut him right here. And we're going to sacrifice a couple of leaves. Okay, go ahead and cut him here. Cut him here. And what happens, the roots don't come out of the end of the stalk. The roots come out of the growth nodes. So we want to make sure that we save these. And by cutting off a couple of leaves, we're giving this guy the best ability to root and create a larger plant for you quicker. So we'll go ahead and lay this guy off to the side. These leaves, unfortunately, will not grow anything, so they are now waste. We'll drop them off to the side. Okay. When we're propagating to make that full plant the way it looks now, you can even look in and see where this guy grew from propagation. I can turn the pot. These are old propagation spots. And these are new. So he started from a propagated portion. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut between the leaves. And notice our growth node. That's going to be very important later. You can cut this extra vining off. It provides nothing and takes resources. So we're going to go ahead and drop him in here. Yep. And drop him in here. This guy's going to go in the taller glass, and what we're going to do is just add a little water. You want to make sure the water is over the growth nodes. If you want roots to come out of them, the water has to go over the growth nodes. What do plants need to grow? They need both water and oxygen. So even water out of your tap is a fantastic thing because it oxygenates the water for you. You don't have to change the water every day, but I do encourage you to change it every few days to give that oxygen to the leaves and to freshen up the water so it doesn't become foul. You want to root the plant, not rot the plant. Okay, so we can go ahead and continue on cutting our propagations. Drop these guys in. So you see the process, it's very easy. So in about 2 weeks, you'll have lovely roots coming out from your growth node. And we can go ahead and, if you want to leave them in water, some people make beautiful arrangements. You can even have fish in them. It looks very lovely with the pothos. But in about 2 weeks, you have to make the decision. Are you leaving the pothos in water, or are you going to transplant into soil? That's about the best time so that the plant makes the ready transition. The newer roots have an easier time adapting to the soil. Moving on, knowing when to repot your plant. Looking in the top of the plant, it shouldn't be an overabundance. You shouldn't see roots. Looking at the bottom, you should not see roots coming out. This plant is okay and does not need to be repotted. And finally, moving on to common concerns. We love our houseplants. We want to make sure that they're healthy. Something to watch out for would be leaf loss. Some leaf loss is normal. Excessive leaf loss is time for concern. Yellowing of leaves can be an indicator of a nutrient deficiency, improper lighting, or potentially root rot if you're overwatering your plant. Something else to watch out for would be things like mealyworms. You'll notice some kind of parasite on your plant, or scale. Leaf tips turning brown. Leaf tips turning brown, and you can actually kind of see that on this plant. You don't need to be close to see it. It's not nice and green. What that is a lack of humidity. Maybe you put it into a window where it was a little too warm and it dried the plant out. One way to treat that would be to mist it, and it'll help with the humidity around the plant. Thank you so much for coming and viewing today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you the next time for Houseplant Care Basics. Thank you.